2013. This is Cary-Andrew Crittenden, and I'm sitting here with Scotty Harris and Fracine Stevens, and we're discussing corruption within Santa Clara County court system, County Counsel, Department of Social Services across the board. Can you guys state the case number for the audience?
That would be JD 20223 and JD 20224, including appellate case number H040026.
Excellent. And the last meeting we had, that we did another video, that was on August 23rd. And we've had some developments since then, haven't we?
Yes.
So I remember one of the things that we spoke about during the last video was Department 19 court transcripts and people who had bad experiences in Judge Manukian's courtroom, with Judge Manukian allegedly sabotaging court cases. People had come forward complaining about their transcripts being altered, and we'd mentioned that during the last video. What developments have we had since then regarding your case?
Well, I received a letter from my appellate attorney, Miss Clara, and the letter, which is right here, and you may not see it very well, but it is posted.
You got a pretty good look at it.
So this is the one that was posted previously on Facebook.
Okay.
And other areas of the internet. And this, it goes further to the second page, which is pretty important. And what this letter is, it is Ms. Calari's letter to the courts. Let me just read it. It states, Louise Cary, Attorney at Law, September 19th, 2013, Appeals Court, Santa Clara County Superior Court, Juvenile Division, 191 North 1st Street, San Jose, California. Rule 8.340B, notification to Santa Clara County Department of Family and Children's Services versus S.H. Scotty Harris. Santa Clara County Superior Court, number JD 20223-20224, 6th District Court of Appeals, case number H040026. Dear Clerk, I am appellate counsel of record for Father Scotty Harris in the above referenced matter, pursuant to California Rules of Court, Rule 8.340B. Please note that in my review of the record in this case, the following parts of the normal record on appeal were missing from the reporter's transcript. Reporter's transcripts from juvenile court hearings on the following dates. And what is listed within this letter are 20 hearing dates.
Including Judge Manukian's court, right? Including
Judge Manukian's court hearing dates. Reporter's transcripts starting of August 8th, 2012, August 22nd, September 5th, October 17th, October 29th, 2012.
Can I just interject one thing? It started when 366.26 hearing started.
Okay.
It was set for August, and that's when they started. I just want to make that point that that's where they started.
Okay.
And how do you explain what the 366.26 hearing is for the listeners?
Permanent placement for the children, and termination for parental rights.
Why do you think the transcripts to all these hearings are missing?
Because I got testified social worker who testified that there were no detriment visits with me and the kids, and he did over 100 visits with me and my kids. And the social worker, Anthony Nakukiri, said that there was a detriment in my visits. He was trying to end my visits.
So he lied.
Yes, and I was ordered to have visits with my kids, and he continued to be lying. He'd find one thing or another.
So do you believe that the transcripts from the hearings are missing because someone, maybe in the court system or somewhere, is trying to hide or destroy evidence?
Yes, because it reveals a lot to our case, proving that they have lied, and they covered up their lies, and it's been exposed.
And what Francine is referring to is not just the Manukian hearing where where her subpoenaed witnesses had testified that there was no detriment during any of her visits, but there are many other. There's more they're hiding with the entire thing, because really from when this starts, the transcripts, this is when we started representing ourselves, which is an interesting coincidence in itself.
Right around the time you moved over to Manukian's courtroom.
Prior to that, just
Okay.
prior to that, because we had judge number 4. Judge number.
Nishigaya.
Judge number 3 was Judge Nishigaya. Judge number 4 was Judge Yu. And that's when the 366 hearing was supposed to have started. Because Judge Nishigaya did not want to have that heard in his court. I believe because he had a streak of honesty in him. He was the one who allowed us to represent ourselves when we demanded that. And so we moved forward with that. Judge Yu, interesting thing is we did some research on Judge Yu prior to even going to that first hearing of the 366-26. And she had a history of hiding records or making them disappear. There's a YouTube video of Judge Yu, and that's all you have to put into the YouTube search, is Judge Yu. And you'll find there's a recorded trial happening, a recorded hearing in her courtroom with a gentleman that is still in jail for something he didn't do.
For 5 years without trial.
For 5 years without a trial. And on the YouTube video, it's very important because he questions where is the file that he requested that's been missing for 5 years.
I recall something about that.
Yeah, and Judge Yu's answer, and you can go there and look at it, her answer to him was,
It's irrelevant.
no, she didn't say it is relevant. She said that it's not, something about like either it's not the right moment to do this or it's not the proper time to discuss that.
Oh, right.
Something to that effect.
Her name is spelled Y-E-W.
Got it. I knew another gentleman who had some serious issues with Judge Yu. I don't know her personally, and I have no personal opinion or comment, but I definitely, for the record, I've heard some nasty things.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that and why they're hiding those transcripts as well is because
I know why.
that paperwork of the hearing that was sent to us did not show that it was for this hearing. It was kind of, the title of it was changed to something a little bit different. And they made an attempt to misdirect us as we went ahead representing ourselves by holding the court hearing, not in the children's court, but over in Superior Court with Judge Yu. So children's court didn't seem to want to even touch this.
And don't forget that we also disqualified her 170 Civil Code Procedure.
We're not there yet.
they're trying to hide that. And I said on record that I believe that I cannot have a fair or impartial hearing with Judge Yu. She had a previous relationship with the social worker's supervisor, and they had functions outside the court, and that's grounds for disqualifications automatically.
Let's touch on that for a minute, if you don't mind.
Cary, may I interject something, please?
Yes. Yeah.
What Francine also she forgot to mention that Judge Yu made that announcement right before she officially started the hearing. So she was on record where this would be important, these transcripts, making that statement that we're all friends here. Oh, I know Marla Johanning. We're all friends here. She knows that my wife and I are not friends with anybody there, so she's definitely showing bias and prejudice when she makes that statement. But it was good for us.
In canon, for the judge benches guide, it says that they can know someone any other party, but if they have other functions outside of court, they cannot have that hearing. So she knew that ahead of time. She shouldn't have sat in there.
Right, and that's excellent. So you believe that perhaps this is the reason why the transcripts have disappeared, because you're hiding evidence of judicial corruption, or let's maybe say misconduct, if not corruption, you know?
Yes.
But I mean, we all know that Santa Clara County is pretty corrupt.
Yes.
Great. You guys had some sort of a interaction with the sheriff's department too, didn't you? Serving papers to Judge Yu?
Yes, we walked out on that hearing after she had made that statement, and we stood up and explained to her that the hearing is bias and prejudice, and that we cannot have a fair hearing. And we immediately proceeded out of the courtroom to file the documents, which we did that day, for
Civil Code Procedure 170.3.6.
Excellent.
Which is
bias, prejudice, cannot have a fair or impartial hearing.
And what happened with the sheriff's department as far as their involvement? Did they impede your efforts, or?
Yeah, they kicked us out of the court.
Well, after I was in the clerk's office, I filed it. I filed my motion to disqualify Judge Yu under grounds of 170.3 or 0.6. They filed it, and her copy was in my hand, and I was going to go upstairs. And she called to see if she was in her chambers, and she said, "Go ahead, go on up there, and they should just take it from you." Her
Court recorder?
Yeah, her recorder was in there, but the door was locked. And then her deputies came out and said, "You have to leave." And I said, "Well, the clerk's office downstairs just called ahead of time for us to come up here."
You have to leave where?
He told us not to go in there. He said, "Oh, no, you're not. You can't do that. Whatever you're trying to do."
But you say he told you to leave.
He told us to leave. He said, you have to leave now.
To leave where?
The building.
Did they escort you out?
Yes, we were escorted out. He said we could maybe come back next week, but that we...
But I made another
escorted
attempt.
out.
No, I made another attempt. I went downstairs and let the clerk's office know. Well, she's up there, but she's not letting us go in there just to give her the paperwork that needs to be served to her. So she had a lady meet us upstairs. She opened the door, and she took the paper, and she served it to Judge Yu in her chamber.
Okay, so what do you think the sheriff's department was trying to do? What was their goal? What was their motive at obstructing you?
It's my personal view that, my belief that she was in a state of panic over that paperwork, and because it would expose her being biased and prejudiced in that courtroom.
I strongly believe that they underestimate people, the capability of filing motions to expose judges when they're being biased and prejudiced against another party. I think that's why she was trying to stop that. It also counts against her, review every year from the District 1
Okay, I'm focusing on the Sheriff's Department's participation.
Yes, and I believe that they were just doing what she instructed them to do. I want them out of here. This is what I believe.
A public building.
I believe she said, look, you know, in fact, I would go so far as to say that she may have made an allegation. Maybe she made a statement of they have a history of violence, which we don't. They have a history of violence. That type of statement seems to carry a lot of weight with police,
right.
Especially from a judge. So anybody can lie. I mean, when you realize that they've gotten rid of, you know, God in the courts, then you're not under any oath to lie, and lie doesn't exist because lie comes from the Ten Commandments, right? Basically, and that's why we had, do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Well, there's no so help you God anymore, so they're all allowed to lie. So the judge can say whatever she wants to the police, and they're going to believe her, and they're going to back her up.
Did you guys break any law to have them tell you to leave? Did they give you a reason? Any code violation? Any statute?
No.
Nothing.
And then when the lady went upstairs and opened the door, and she had the paperwork in her hand, the motion to serve her, those same officers were upstairs, and they told us to wait by the phone booths while she went and did that for her.
Or else anything? Or else they just
didn't want us near the door. They're just treating us that way. I don't know why.
And it's been known that law enforcement will try to softly intimidate or softly push your buttons to see if you will react. The moment that you react is the moment that they can start pressing, you know, further. But we didn't give them that.
Yeah, the Sheriff's Department here is pretty bad. There's been a lot coming up recently.
And knowing what kind of battle this is, we have to be, you know, we have to observe the rules of the battle, if you will, to beat them. You know, I mean, somebody with a violent history or with a short temper or whatever may not have handled that well and may have reacted to the police when they came up there because we didn't do anything. And some people that feel that they don't do anything, well, I haven't done anything, may react even stronger to that. You know. Yeah,
What was the date that happened in the approximate time? In which courthouse was it?
April 16. April.
Are you sure?
Yeah, April. Because we were still representing ourselves in February. We actually signed the paperwork. Yes, and we were in Hugh's courtroom in April. It was April.
Is that on Park Avenue?
No, it's in 191 North First Street.
Okay, great.
Third floor or something.
Do you remember the names of the sheriff deputies or the ranks or anything?
No, it wasn't that important to me at the time. I was just more focused on getting her served the paperwork.
I understand, but it's demonstrating a pattern
Oh yeah, I know.
of the Sheriff's Department participating in not only refusing to investigate the crimes that occur within the courts and within the county council and the public guardian's office, etc., but they're going out and they're harassing and intimidating and targeting people like you and me and others. And it's beyond ridiculous what they're doing, and
I just didn't want to make it personal at the time.
right.
Because once they see you looking at their name, their badge, or writing it down, they start, harassing you even more. I should have taken note.
Yeah, that's good documentation to have. How many officers total from the Sheriff's Department were
About
there?
2 or 3. They were the ones that were working upstairs in her.
The bailiffs.
Yeah.
Did it involve any of the people from out front with going into metal detectors or anything?
No, but I think they were trying to.
Okay.
But all I did went back into the clerk's office and asked her to get that served to her. That's what I just needed done.
What kind of crimes or let's just say acts of misconduct or whatever do you think that they're trying to cover up and conceal by by misplacing these records? Let's just go into those briefly.
Well, I called the social worker on the stand and questioned him. He had incriminated himself more than several times, even the most recent hearings in June 12, when Tony Nakukiri, the social worker who was on the stand in his testimony, the counsel, my appointed counsel, had asked him questions, and he incriminated himself. Yeah, he couldn't answer the questions because he got caught in his lies. I think, are those missing too?
A lot of them are missing.
Well, I got an email from my appellate court attorney, and I asked her if she's aware that 20 files were missing and transcripts. I was in panic asking her, well, how do you think we're going to have a hearing in an appellate court without those files? She responded saying she's aware of it, and she had requested a extension before we have a hearing. She said that there's more than 20 missing. They're still counting. They're still going through all the files to see how much more is missing.
And that's very interesting that we'd even mentioned in the last video that we did the questions about the transcripts. And this is before we even had learned about any of this.
Could I have a chance, Cary, to answer that question? And could you please restate it for me? The question that you just asked Francine.
What do you believe that they were trying to hide by misplacing these documents?
What do we believe they're trying to hide?
Yeah.
Well, I think that we went over some of those things. They're definitely also trying to hide the social worker's attorney in one of the hearings that are mentioned here, making the statement when I was allowed to speak in Judge Arroyo's one of her court hearings. I stated to her that we're going to seek media attention, and the media is already looking at this presently. And when I spoke that, Ms. Razul, the attorney for the social worker, stood up in a state of panic and stated, "Mr. Harris can't do that. This is supposed to be secret."
That's Arlene Razul with the county council.
That's correct.
And she's the same one who tried to get my YouTube video taken down.
Yes.
Yes, that is the same
She's
exact
the social
one.
worker's attorney.
From the county council.
Yes, she works
Yeah.
for Ori.
Ori Corb. Why do you think they wanted the YouTube video down so badly?
Because it exposes them in this county.
That meaning who, the county council? Courts?
The county council, the Department of Family and Children's Services, the judges, the DAs, like Lisa Rogers, who got fired for misconduct, misrepresenting and making false allegations against people. She's been suspended 5 times before she got fired. She just got fired last year for the same thing she did to me.
So another act of censorship, or attempted censorship. I hope we're allowed to talk about censorship on this video.
Yeah.
Not that different from the sheriff's department going out and trying to intimidate me into not speaking about what happens and ordering me that I am not allowed to contact any public officials about it, and about the fraud that happened against Heidi Yaman with her eviction and everything, and just censorship trying to silence us.
Yeah, and also, Cary, I think that part of the answer to your question also is that they are afraid that, not just being exposed to the public in this manner, but they have their nice secure job. They have their paycheck to think about, and the federal funds that they siphon and get bonuses from if they can keep this rolling and out of a lawsuit. So they're not going to give up, and they're just going to, as I say, they keep digging their own grave. They have no choice, so they keep using the same pattern and the same tactics by making allegations, lies, trying to stop things by abusing rights.
Fraudulently trying to get kids adopted out with their lies, hiding the truth.
Bonuses and
$80,000 to $60,000, $60,000 to $80,000 per child.
Mm-hmm. Their fear is that one person, that maybe out of hundreds or thousands that see this video, maybe there's one person out there that has a way or some better abilities or avenues to use to put a stop, to put her out of a job.
Actually,
she doesn't want that.
So we're gonna try to help get this video to that person, whoever they are, or that group of people, or that law firm, or that.
I've actually filed all the appropriate administration complaints with the State of California Board of Behavior and Sciences. That's where they get their licenses. Because they're in a union, they won't get fired until you could prove that they had committed some kind of misconduct, ethics, which I think lying is one of them.
Right.
And misrepresenting and not appropriately conducting some kind of investigation before they write the reports to make it actually a factual basis, not false allegation.
A lot like the public guardian's office.
I contacted, I think they're the same one. It's a civil complaint. Right. And I'm working on my criminal complaint right now.
Awesome.
I've actually contacted the district attorney, Jeff Rosen. I've contacted him for several months. He hasn't returned any of my emails.
What have you contacted him about, and what have you asked him?
Lisa Rogers, because she was working for him at the time when she had made false allegations about me. And then the public defender's office had conducted their own investigations because I was their client. They had no findings of any kind of orders of contact, orders being violated, which she had made allegations.
So is this a suppression of evidence type thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to remind everyone that we're not just doing this for us, and we're not just doing this for our children either. We're doing this for everyone, because this ties into everyone. When federal funds are squandered by the county, by these corrupt individuals within the courts, within the police force, within the social worker, the CPS or their organization, and the attorneys and the so-called advocates, all these people, not just one, all these people in this one case with us are siphoning funds from everyone that pays federal tax dollars. That's where their funds come from. And everybody is so upset and concerned about, where's the money to help people with, and where's the money for this, and why does it cost so much money? Well, here's one of your main answers right here, because this is the second biggest money-making thing for the state. The second, it's number 2 for the state in the way of making money and siphoning funds from the federal government.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming tonight.